Hello everybody, BrioS here. Today we are looking at an iconic light mech. And of course you guys will recognize this as the 20-ton Innisphere battle mech, the Locust. And to be honest, the Locust has been power creeped, and that's because of the Flea. With the introduction of the Flea, with its ability to have MESE, good hardpoints, and most importantly with its wonderful hitboxes, the Locust basically is kind of sad. It's like, you used to be the most popular kid on the block, and then another popular kid comes in, so yeah, you just sit in the corner and sulk. But it still has its charms, and this particular variant is the Locust 3M. Useful because it has 5 energy hardpoints, and it also has an energy cooldown of 20%. But honestly, to be very honest, playing light mechs has been pretty tough recently, since the introduction of 3060 technology with the strict 4s, strict 6s for Innisphere, dual heavy Gauss that can insta-kill you no matter where they hit, and of course with the ATMs doing 3 damage per missile, there are many threats on the battlefield that just kill lights. And honestly, with my ping of 250 plus on NA and EU servers, it's pretty tough playing a light mech because of rubber banding issues, collision issues, and yeah, basically a quarter of a second behind everybody else. So sometimes it seems I'm in cover, but on the client side, or rather the server side, I'm actually sticking out, and yeah, I get insta-killed by heavy Gauss or something. But anyway, let's take a look at this build first. So this particular build with the 5 energy hardpoints, I'm actually running 3 medium pulse lasers and 2 ERSLs. These weapons sync quite nicely, and with a total damage of I think 24.5 damage, it does quite a lot. And with the cooldown quirk of 20%, you can go in, fire, deal a lot of damage, and just run away. Yes, it's going to be hot because it only has 10 double heat sinks, and the 3 medium pulses and 2 ERSLs generate quite a bit of heat, but you're able to dish out the damage pretty fast and fall away. All this can be done by reducing the engine to an XL 180, 190 being the max rating for the Locust. So 180 is basically a Flea engine. So it goes at a speed of 145.8, which is still pretty decent, and you can have a nice alpha of 24.5, and well, with the 20% cooldown before skills, you can fire rapidly, and you see how effective it can be. But I'm kind of sad, I still repeat my whining about the toughness of playing a light mech nowadays. But anyway, back to skills. So for this skill tree, I'm running 33 in firepower. I don't need the laser duration, even though I have ERSLs, because they make negligible difference, not a worthwhile investment. The burn time of ERSLs are pretty small anyway. So with all these skills, I'm going for a heat reduction of 10.5%. Trying to boost the cooldown, and with skills, I've got a 7.5 bonus, and guys, that means this mech with 3 medium pulse lasers and 2 ERSLs has a net cooldown of 27.5%, allowing me to fire those weapons really fast. But be warned, they generate lots of heat, but fire and run away. And for mobility, 11 SPs to boost the mobility of this mech because I have no survivability. 11 SPs gives you a bit more mobility, so you can avoid fire better, especially with the issues I talked about in playing a light mech nowadays. So for XL bonus of 10.5, DCL bonus of 14, and a turn rate of 18, you can dodge in and out of cover pretty nicely. And this works together with the 16 SPs I put into sensors. That gives me 100% radar deprivation. So once you move into cover, the enemy loses its locks. That increases your survivability a lot when it comes to ATMs and streaks. So if you're playing a light mech, a 20-tonner especially, try to send 16 SPs to get the 5 nodes of radar deprivation. It's a lifesaver, better than Survival 3. As for operations, 20 SPs is pretty standard for the 5 nodes of cool run, and the 5 nodes for heat containment to increase the heat capacity, and the 10% heat dissipation rate. And with auxiliary 3, 11 SPs for 2 cool shots, with the cool shot cooldown to allow the second cool shot to be fired 25% faster, and on this right side for the wonderful 2 strikes, which as a light mech, let's be honest, it really helps buff the damage, and with your speed you can get into good position to drop it nicely. Yeah, so that's it. That's the fast firing energy bolt Locust 3M. Not the fastest Locust around, 145.8 is still very decent, but as you'll see from the gameplay, if you know how to use it correctly, you can place your strikes well and also deal a lot of damage. So talking about that, let's get down to the showcase matches and let's go. So here we are for the first showcase match, and it's a match on Solaris City, a map that really suits this build because of all the buildings. You can move in and out of cover using that 100% radar deprivation to devastating effect. And with the short burn time of the medium pulses and the ER smalls, you don't have to expose yourself that much. And right now, as you can see, I'm actually scouting his domination. So as a light mech with especially a Locust, I think it's really important to scout, get some intel for the team and feed it back. And of course, looking for that enemy's concentration so I can drop my first strike. The first strike is the strike I normally use right at the beginning when the team bolts up. That does some damage, I hope, and of course it delays the enemy and allowing the friendly team to reposition. So that's always useful. So first visual is a Corsair Bravo 5. Being an assault, there are probably friends around him. So waiting for my friendly team to move up to draw a bit of aggro so I can do hit and run. Yeah, there's the assault. First strike goes in, targeting that BrioS and the Corsair. Looks like it's gonna be a good strike. Yep, very good strike on Charlie and his friends around. By the way, RT strikes do I think 8 rounds. Well, the airstrike does less, I think 6 or 7. But anyway, I do prefer RT strikes. So as you can see, the BrioS is having a bit of trouble targeting me. He's also having problems trying to focus on who to shoot.
Charlie's hurting.
Yeah, I'm doing lots of damage in the meantime. Heat builds up really fast. Managed to get my second strike out to do quite a bit of
Foxtrot
damage.
right torso.
And calling out targets as I see them. So I probably am blocking quite a lot of friendlies behind me. So it's time for me to move away. My rear already has been opened, probably by friendly fire. Because I'm standing in front of the team, so kinda deserve it. Can't blame the team. So try to find the next target to pick on. So try to keep to the flanks of the team, because if I stand in front, I block everybody. And also I'm able to counter any fast movers as they come in if I'm at the flanks. So that's some basic light mech tactics there.
There's Charlie. Try to get him.
2-0 at the moment, team has an advantage. Now it's 3-0. So we have the enemy team pinned down in that location there. Out of strikes. But with heat vision, I can see a bit better like Lima.
They're cutting through the center. One Mad Cat. Ballistic build. One Rifleman 2C.
Lima, CT open.
Huntsman, ATM build, and the Hellbringer.
So quite good comms. Enemy team is trying to break out of that death trap there. But as you can see, this build can run pretty hot. So gotta watch the heat if you play this build. Red lighting it right here. Never override because with so little structure on a Locust, a bit of heat damage will more or less insta-kill you, especially if it is for XL engines. So it's getting a bit too cramped and hot there. So I'm gonna move away and try to pick out the stragglers, the mechs who broke out of the trap. Like this Veagle, oh, he's dead.
Fast movers, let's head to Delta 5.
So the match at 7-2, the game is more or less won, it's just mopping up.
It is 7-2.
So trying to find a few stragglers here and there. Delta 4, a call is made. For assistance, that is. Fresh Hellbringer, what was he doing?
E4.
So it looks as though the enemy is making a final stand at Echo 4. Yep, one guy Delta there. Kilo.
Mad Cat Bravo, one more shot.
So as they are engaged, doing the usual fast moving, come in, stab them in the rear and fade away.
Please don't stand behind Locusts, please.
I hate it when people stand behind light mechs. Speed and movement is everything for a light mech, so never stand behind a light mech. Give it some distance, maybe 30 meters or so you can reverse and turn away. So with the match standing at 11-4, it's more or less won, it's just hunting down the last mech. And because of that, as you can see, I have fast forwarded this section to the final engagement and the match scores.
Yeah, there it is.
Last mech is a Huntsman with streaks. It pays to remember where and what it is. So being mildly damaged and well, it's a streak boat, I don't really want to close in too much. Gotta let him get bashed up by my friends here like the Vulcan in front. And yep, there he goes.
GG.
Got some damage in and it's a win. So let's take a look at the match scores right here. So as you could see, it's a massive 915 points of damage with 2 KMDDs. Granted, most of them from the strikes, but light mechs can place those strikes really nicely. And I was able to be lucky enough to drop both strikes on the heavy concentration of enemy mechs. But don't forget the 3 million pulses and 2 ERSLs, the negative 27.5% cooldown really does a lot of damage, a lot more than it seems. And that results in a really nice match score for this match of 5-8-2. So as you could see from that previous match on Solaricity, the management of aggro for this Locust is really important, or any light mech for that matter. That means when you engage, hopefully it's a target that's already engaging another friendly. That way, with that small size of yours, you don't get much attention and you can hit and fade away, especially with the short laser burn duration of the weapons on this build. But right now we are on Frozen City Classic and Charlie Land starts in a horrible place down in a valley. So good thing about this mech, it's pretty fast, so I'm gonna rush up to the front, Charlie 4 area and support Charlie Lands as they come up, because we've got some nice people like temporary access there.
Here they come, Charlie 5.
Yeah, first wave comes in, gonna hit and run with about my 440 meters range. So that's pretty good range for a Locust.
Run away! Run away!
True enough, they're pushing Charlie Lands hard.
India?
I feel like there's a meme here. If you're in a dial, one does not run away.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to run in the Dire, so I'm gonna spot that Direwolf, which is temporary access. By the way, his channel link is in the description below. He's on Twitch too. So one good strategy is actually basically just to support the assault mechs on
Bravo
your
right
team.
torso.
Yeah, support the assault mechs on your team. And in this particular, they will push him far.
It's a Mech Cat 2 here.
That's a boom Jagger.
Yeah, dropping a strike
CC on the Hellbringer.
that allows them to take a bit of damage and deter them from pushing forward hard. Friendly team is still taking a while to push in. As you can see from the mini map, they're still in Bravo 3, Charlie
Those
3.
in Charlie 3, we need your assistance.
Yeah, trying to push them forward, get them to move up to support.
Look at the map, they're all there.
Yep, that's a good
Shoot,
UAV.
shoot.
Good UAV by somebody.
Lima is open. Hellbringer.
It's always good to call targets and their components. Share intel with the team.
Support a Dire, please. It's coming, Lima. Shits.
So as you can see, a single shot calls me out, so it's time to run. Team is moving forward, so that's good. But with that, I live forever in fear of a single strike killing me.
Banshee left torso.
Yeah, all the big guys are coming in, so it's time for me to fade away to the flanks. Do some hit and run from the flanks of the enemy team.
Golf, Death Strike right.
Or if possible, run
There
to the
he
rear.
is. Spotted.
That Golf here.
He's legged, get him.
4-0, decisive advantage. Enemy has been surrounded. So it's better of just picking off targets, right?
ATM Orion.
Picking off targets like the City Orion. And finishing them off. As you can see, a bit of war crimes. But never mind. It's not me, not my fault this time. So trying to get lines on the enemy is tough right now because we're at the end game of the match. The mop-up time, 6-1.
Look at the map.
There's a Nazatad in the rear rifleman that just ran in front of me. I'm sorry, but you did that yourself.
There's always a bit of friendly fire, like Axis was accidentally shooting somebody. It happens. Oh, I found the Banshee, another Banshee. Chopped off his torso, he's distracted. 8-1, he goes down. At this point, I think it's safe to say we've won this match. The Boomjäger XL going down, and last guy here, Gundam in his, well, his Gundam mech, a Phoenix Hawk. I'm not gonna pursue him because I'm already caught and I would like to live once in a while.
Hot.
Yeah. And this mech does build up lots of heat. Remember that the 3 pulses with the 2 ERSLs is really hot on a 10 double heatsinks mech.
Did I see a blip in C4?
He's the last one here, no?
So
Nope.
let's
Bravo
go
4.
down, see if I can,
It's a Phoenix
see if I
Hawk.
can poke.
No right
Aw.
up. And he's dead.
I guess I can't. So that's it. It's quite a massacre 12-2, technically a stomp. And yeah, but it does demonstrate the hit and run of this mech, supporting assaults and holding lines when necessary rather than NASCARing. So 761 damage, no kills yet again, 1k MDD, and a nice max score of 507 in this Locust.